Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Cisco, and I'm coming to my student body. I want to first say that yes, we are getting ready for spring break. Now, that's an important moment for you because you tend to go off and just have fun. But I want to say this, seriously, be careful. It's a lot of people in Florida, they're on spring break. They're not wearing masks and stuff. They think this situation is over with. It's not. Be careful. Life is more important than anything. But you are an adult. Be you. But yes, be careful though. So with that being said, also we're getting close to ending this semester. Got roughly around about 8 more weeks left. And I like to do a summer program. And in my summer program, I like to give away a class to help people learn more about IT. Now, this originally started years ago, and I would, in the summertime, volunteer my time to help organizations, non-for-profit organizations, teach people how to learn computers. But since the situation in this country and the world done happened, I have went online and started just teaching one class to anybody who would like to sign up for it. So some of you have been waiting for me to announce when I am going to start my summer class. This is not an official announcement, but it's coming soon, and it will be in the realm of cybersecurity. So hold fast to that, because it's coming to a theater near you. Now, I'm telling you this now because I know I'm getting ready to put these courses together, and I'm gonna be more hands-on with that class than I ever was before, because the first time I introduced it like this, I wasn't that much hands-on, but the students were outstanding. I really like some of the guys who went through the class and enjoyed it. So I will be announcing that coming up soon. Now, with you guys who I'm sending this to, it's going to be questions on here that I want you to answer. They will be in the description for the guys who are already in my class. And I'm sorry if it's a woman or two in my class, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. I say guys, I don't know why. You know, I grew up in that time where I say that. So forgive me if I too err in life. Okay, so let's get focused. I'm about to pull up some PowerPoint presentation. This first one is just briefly getting us into what cybersecurity is. I've been sending out video logs about cybersecurity, so you guys are really geared up, you understand it. And the way I'm doing this is I'm gonna walk you up to where you can get to the point where you can either go into cybersecurity or you'll have enough knowledge to function in the field. It's really hot and it's making a lot of changes, and you're gonna see a couple of video links on here that I want you to look at, dealing with the major players who are looking for people to come into this industry. And they're not just looking for IT people, they looking for anybody who's interested in it, and they willing to train you up. So please pay attention to everything I give you in these next lessons that's coming out, or these next discussion questions that's coming out, because you may see something that you can grab a hold to and go forward. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna flip over in a minute. You're gonna see me flip over, and we're gonna go into cybersecurity. What is that? Okay, we're back. Now, when I teach cybersecurity, I teach it from the viewpoint of Cisco. There's multiple players out there in the cybersecurity realm. Many people are teaching these classes, but when I teach it from the viewpoint of Cisco, because I want you guys to understand that it's the devices I love to teach, but I also love to do the work. And I like to make sure that you understand that there are many different ways you can understand cybersecurity. But the way I like to teach it is understanding that you must secure the devices. you must make sure the people who work for the companies understand what security is. So these are the things I'm gonna start focusing on, not so much going deep into the technical. The technical is important, so we will be understanding that, but I use this model when I deal with security, cybersecurity, security in general. How do you secure yourself? Before you can start working up the skill set of securing massive corporations, I want you to start thinking of, how do I secure myself? How do I secure my family? How do I secure my presence on the internet, my digital presence? You have to start thinking for yourself. And I think if we go back to that form of security where we start thinking about self and then branch out into the bigger picture, then we'll do better. So let's go ahead and start this. So the first thing you're gonna notice is that we want to learn how important cybersecurity is now. It's extremely important that we all as individuals start focusing on our security presence. It's important because we've given up so much information out there about ourselves and we don't know what is really happening with it. And if you're paying attention to the news like I am, you notice all around the world governments are phasing into getting into this cybersecurity thing, whether it's with Facebook or what's happening with our data. All this is important, so you have to start paying attention to the things and activities that you do. Understand the characteristics of what happens to your personal data. We're going to walk through how your personal data and organizations' personal data is extremely important. So this is a really, really deep subject, and I hope you enjoy it and really can get into it. You know, and I know some of you sitting back, well, Professor, of course I know what organizational data is, and of course I know what personal data is. Do you really? Because how do you deal with this data? You know, are you protecting the organization? Are you protecting your data? So these are deep things. Then we're going to talk about the attackers. You know, we're going to talk about the state-owned attackers, hackers out there. We're going to talk about professional hackers, people who just want to make big loads of money off of this. And then we're going to talk about these different type of state-owned organizations that now has unofficially declared war on different countries. This is important, and every week I'm gonna walk you through a different module so you can begin to see how really intense it's getting out there. Nothing to worry about because you're in the right hands, so don't worry. So personal data. When we talk about personal data, we pretty much talking about our online presence. We're talking about our bank accounts. We're talking about different type of things that we do on a daily basis. Scenario time. You walk in a store. You got a Jewels store card. You purchase some from Jewels. What you don't realize is that that particular moment, your personal information has been given to the people who own Jewels. Now, Jewels will send you information about different sales and stuff that they have. But the question I would like to ask, what if someone hacked Jewels? Then they have your information now. So you have to be careful with that. I don't take any store-owned cards anymore. I discontinued all of that because I knew that I was giving out a lot of information that I pretty much didn't want the store to have. And now when you hear about these giant corporations getting hacked, like this last hack, and you're gonna keep hearing me refer back to this last hack that hit us, you know, these organizations are getting hacked, and some of them are not telling us that they was hacked. So we have to be careful. So, you know, list some examples of your online identity. If you just sit down one day and just list out the activities that you do online, you'll be amazed at many different places you go and you don't know that someone can hack one of them places and get your information. List some examples of your online identity. Identity online, identity offline. It used to be a person got your information if they picked your pocket, broke in your house, and all that type of stuff. They don't have to do that anymore. You know, your data is one of the most valuable tools, resources out there. Your data is important now. Your presence is important. A person can steal your presence and create social security cards. I know you're gonna say, well, you can't do that. Listen, any document can be fake now. All they need is the right information, and they got systems around this world where they can fake it. But most important, the devices you carry. For instance, your cell phone, your laptop, things you carry around, are you leaving them out where people can get to them? So cybersecurity, in essence, will help you protect all that. But remember, let's go back to what I originally said. I want you to start thinking of yourself first. You got to get selfish now. Think of yourself and how you secure yourself before you start trying to learn all the applications on securing organizations and nations. Trust me, the moment you figure out how to discipline yourself to protect your offline presence and your online presence, you will begin to develop a real good cybersecurity content. Put the work in. And that's what cybersecurity is. And the reason I made that statement is because a lot of people are jumping into cybersecurity, learning the applications, but they don't get the fundamentals down. Let's work on the fundamentals. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now we just talked about personal data, your data. We talk about what people really want to get from you. They might want to get into your education. If I hack Oakton and get your information from Oakton, guess what? I can use that information to actually go to a bank and open up a bank account just from getting information from Oakton. Because remember, Oakton has all of your information. Ivy Tech has all your information. The University of Chicago, if you go there, has all your information. Any college that you go to, has your information. So it's important that you protect your information, and it's important that they protect their information. And if you notice, colleges are rolling out robust security policies. So it's important that you pay attention to that. And these are the many ways they can get your information. Just take a look at the medical situation. Why would someone want to know, get your medical information? Why would we need that? Well, with your medical information, like I said, I can go buy a car, I can start a bank account, I can do various things. And this is how simple it is. You go see your doctor. Your doctor examines you, takes your information, but he has to bill you, right? So he put the information into a system which transfer it to the insurance company. The insurance company bills you appropriately. But what if someone hacked the insurance company? So you see how now your personal information can be out there. It's nothing to be scared of, but it's important that you pay attention. So you have some checking that you have to do, and that's what we're going to teach you in these particular lessons, how you can secure yourself. Now, I want to start off by saying this. There's no way in hell any individual or organization cannot be hacked. Anybody can be hacked. But it's how you stop and find out the people who are hacking. You want to mitigate that process. You want to stop it, slow it down. Let's move on. Okay, so as I just said, people can, back in the day, people would rob you, get your information, and then they will be able to create these systems. But now we all online, and we still doing some offline stuff, but we online. So how do criminals get your money? Online, creative schemes, employment. I am going to show you some videos in these session of lectures that I sent out, where individuals can make a telephone call and have you give up some information that you can actually be hacked off of. Yes, it's happening out there. So you're gonna see a lot of stuff rolling out to you. Why do they want your information? Of course, long-term profit. You know, they can use your medical information to go deeply into you, your educational information. So it's many ways that they can target you. Now that's on a personal. Let's talk about organizations now. One of the primary things about hacking an organization is to get the intellectual properties. And where did that happen? We saw that happening in, guess what? When they was coming out with all these different viruses, we heard about organizations trying to hack house builders that was developing these viruses to get that intellectual property. That intellectual property is valuable. So if you can get that information, you can actually sell it to someone who can produce the virus or the cure to the virus, but also make millions of dollars off of this information. So it's important that we use certain disciplines to protect us. Now you see right here where it says type of organizational data, traditional data, personal information on employees, intellectual property, financial statements. Let's say I want to know what Tesla will be doing in the next 10 years. If I hack Tesla, I can get their financial information, and then I can go to the stock market and, you know, make a little money off of it. But anyway, you get the point. A lot of devices, new devices that's really coming into the market now, which we call the Internet of Things, that's gathering data from everywhere. I mean, taking data from anywhere. We talking about, you know, you got a camera on your house watching your property. They can hack that and get that information. Your refrigerator is a smart refrigerator. They can hack that. You may say, well, why would they want to hack my refrigerator? Well, if I can hack into your refrigerator, I can get on your network. And then I can get into your computers. I can get all the information I need to know. So these are important things. But you're going to hear about the CIA. And with the CIA, this is how we bring in tools to protect ourselves. You're going to hear about hashing. Hashing, or common checksums, these are tools we use to help ourselves. I'm actually going to give you an article that's going to deal with hashing so you can begin to get practice up. As we walk through these sessions, I'm going to give you little tidbits to get you practice up. Even though you may not go into security, you will know because you're in the IT field and you will know how important security is. Now you see some of the biggest hashing systems out there right here, MD5, SH8. These are not the most up-to-date ones, okay? So just beware, but we're gonna train on these so you'll know how to use them. And I'm gonna put a document in here on hashing. Let me pull that document over right now so you can see it, if I can find it right quick. But hashing is an important feat that you need to know. So this is a document comparing data with a hash. And if you know anything about hashing, so much data from one location to the next location. So take a minute to think about this. Whereas once I transfer that data over, I encrypt it. And once the data is encrypted, it goes to the location or the person that I want to send it to, and then they decrypt it and make sure that the information I sent them is true authentication. And that's why we use hashing systems, to make sure that the data that we are transferring from one location to the next location has integrity, as well as you know, making sure that it's confidential so no one can utilize data that we're sending from one location to the next location. It's the most protected data that we're sending, and that the information that we send over there is trustworthy. The people on the receiving end know that that is the true information. So we're gonna go a little deeper into CIA. CIA is really one of the foundation tools we use when we are setting up systems to make sure we protect our data. You know, we have to authenticate ourselves. We want to make sure that we deal with privacy. We want to make sure we deal with trustworthiness. And we want to make sure that the information or that the devices that we are using, that people can have access to them. Availability. Okay, so here's an organization. As you can see, it's extremely dynamic. It's multiple things going on within this organization. But a hacker, all they have to do is find one spot, one vulnerability, and guess what? They're inside of your organization and they can wreak havoc. But if you have systems set up to protect the organization, you can slow down that hack. And that's one of the things that happened with the SolarWinds hack. It was a hack that no one knew was going on. So of course, you know, you can see here, what do a breach or a hack do to a person or an organization? The same thing that will happen to a person. It can ruin the person. It can mess up a person's credit. It can take all a person's money. It can do the same thing to an organization. When your organization or you as an individual get hacked, you know, it can ruin your reputation. You know, they can steal stuff from you. They can damage intellectual property. These people can cause all type of problems within your organization. Now, this is going to be quick here. We already know who these guys are. We know what a black hat hacker is, what a white hat hacker is, and what a gray hat hacker is. We're going to move on. But pretty much, you just got to make sure that when you learning these disciplines, that especially as we travel on, I'm going to make sure that you study this material like a hacker will study it, so you can be skilled up to protect yourself. So just make sure you do that. And as you can see right here, you got amateurs out there, people who just, what we call script kiddies, people who just learn the basics of hacking, and they just going out there just trying to you know, just impress their friends or something. We call them amateurs or script kiddies. But then you already know about the three here. And if you don't know, as when you look at this video, go do your research. If I walk up to you and ask you what a black hat hacker is, you should be able to tell me. Or a white hat hacker, what are their responsibilities? You should be able to tell me. These individuals are important in understanding hacking and the people who do the hacking. Anything else? You got internal and external threats. When we talk about internal threats, that can be someone like someone who works for the company. Maybe they not really secure with their passwords or something. Or maybe you bring an individual in to do some work on your particular company. You know, a lot of people hire contractors. And a contractor can play many different roles within your company, but they may give out some information. If you ever want to know about a real big hack, the Equifax hack, yeah, that was a big one. The Equifax hack, they brought some contractors in, and they said that the contractors gave out or opened up a door where information can be transferred out. I don't know if it was the contractors, but I do know that's what Equifax stated. But thousands upon millions of people, information was just given up. So try to look for that Equifax. I'll probably put it in the description of this video so you can read that. But if you are, and if you don't know what Equifax is one of the crediting bureaus in the United States of America. We have Equifax, we have Expedite, and we have TransUnion, the three major bureaus. If you hack one of them, you can get millions of people information. And why do I need millions of people information? Well, I might want to sell it on a black market. So some people who buy that information, they can build social security cards, they can make driver's license, they can make anything they need to be able to infiltrate or get into our country. So you never know, you got to make sure. Now, you see it right here where it's talking about insiders, employees and ex-employees, contracting staff. These are people who can let a person in that can destroy the company. External threats are hackers. They trying to hack within the company, and they do a lot of stuff. I'm going to show you some neat stuff on how people can hack organizations. Pay attention to it as we go forward in the upcoming videos. I just want to get this one out too. Okay, so we see the impact of what a hack can do to a person and what a hack can do to an organization. Personal, corporate, international, legal issues in cybersecurity. This is a big thing now. Ethical issues within cybersecurity on a personal level and a corporate level. So when I'm approaching this class, the first person I'm gonna start with is you. I'm gonna ask you to look at your life and the things that you do, and I'm gonna give you tools that can help you in your life, which helps the bigger picture, because then you be able to move into the corporate, the business and the corporate world on making sure you use these tools to protect these organizations. Cyber warfare. Now, this is one of the things that the reason I'm really focusing on cyber security. It's because two reasons really. One, I want to make sure we get back to the basics so we can start understanding this discipline and understanding how people can hack us. That's important. But the second thing is we got nation states that's hacking the United States. And we need people out there that's really disciplined in this art. And I'm hoping that some of you will pick up the mantle and go for it, but really disciplined in this art and protecting this nation. Whatever your political affiliation within the country, we all should come together and start protecting this nation from outsiders. So that's what this cyber war is all about. It's a lot of nation states that's trying to hack us. Maybe they just want to get our intellectual property. Maybe they want to just know about the latest business, the latest tools, the latest devices that we're creating, or maybe they want to damage our political world. But the most important thing is whatever country you're in, if you're learning something about cybersecurity, just make sure you're a good guy in this business.